Okay, folks, part two of Mike's Instant Movie Review. I just got terribly interrupted by somebody talking about this movie. What's it called? Stand Your Ground. So basically, the first 20 minutes of the movie is probably the most intense part of it, when we're getting everything set up. Our Australian buddy, I believe his name is Jack, takes a settlement for 6 years, a plea bargain. I guess the people that killed his wife get off scot-free. Now, this is my first problem with this movie. I was mentioning that case in real life, not movie life, from 5 or 6 years ago when, I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name, but basically he was looking at a house for sale, as other people in the community did. I think this was in Georgia or South Carolina. He was looking at this house, and then these guys in a truck, these white guys, basically made themselves like the patrolmen of the neighborhood, and they hunted this guy down. Like, they chased him down, and the guy was running for his life because he didn't know what the hell was going on. So these guys, they're chasing him down, and then they've got a fucking gun, and they've like stopped, and they've blocked this guy's, this is real life, they blocked his path, and the guy like kind of fights them, and he gets the gun for a second, but then the gun goes off, and this gentleman gets killed, and the fucking idiots, of course the police try to cover it up, but one of the guys was actually videotaping this on his fucking cell phone, which basically incriminated himself and the other two idiots, and all three of them went to jail. My point of bringing up this anecdote, as horrible as it is that this is a story of real life American racism, 2020 or 2021, whatever the year was. And yes, these three individuals were racists and jerks and assholes and way out of their lane, so to speak. But they all went to jail. And the same thing now, the Derek Chauvin went to jail, and whatever you feel about that case and George Floyd and so forth. My point is that, yes, our country still has its issues, but at least with the court system, I mean, I think things have turned in a way that you can't really get away with a lot of this shit anymore. You know what I mean? 30 years ago, the Rodney King situation, if that happened today, I don't think that the police officers would fare so well in the court, okay? So in any regard, my point is, this movie started to lose me a little bit when it's basically saying, oh, you're in the South and a black woman can get fucking hung and her unborn child can get murdered, and everybody's okay with it, and the guy that kills the guy that did that is going to go to jail instead. I just, you kind of lost me a little bit. The movie had to do something a little bit more than just give me this, because I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that it's that extreme, but I'm still watching the movie. The guy goes to jail. Interestingly enough, I was expecting, okay, now we're going to get our jail portion of the movie. No jail portion of the movie. We just flash forward 6 years later, and basically everybody's the fucking same. Like, there really was no indication. There was no even token thing where, like, the Jack gets out and he says, oh man, it's been 6 years. I can't believe Tom Brady went to Tampa, or some type of thing there was no time stamping, which, I'm okay with that to an extent. But I think for a movie where a character is in jail for 6 years, some little tip of the hat to time would be nice. Around this time in the movie, we start meeting our bad guys. Now, I've mentioned the first guy was Australian. Well, I guess I'm wrong, because the end of the movie credits revealed something, that this movie, I believe, was filmed in England, and they said Wales. No offense to my Wales friends, but is that a country, or is Wales in England? I don't know. I'm not a geographical major in high school or whatever the fuck. So basically, the main bad guy racist of this whole orchestra, and apparently the guy that got shot in the beginning was his son. So the end boss racist is also speaking with what I thought was an Australian accent at times, that was kind of peeking out, but it wasn't Australian. It must have been English or Wales. And his daughter, the young lady who's kind of the innocent daughter, caught up in this madness, and he gives her kind of a real villainous speech to the little girl version of the daughter, She's not speaking with an accent. So most of the people in this movie don't have any type of accent except the main good guy and the main bad guy. So I'm thinking, what's the connection here with this accent? If this is the American South, why do these two have Australian accents? At the time I thought it was Australian, but it's not. It's English or Wales or Welsh or whatever. So I'm very confused. I'm very misunderstanding this film already. And then Hish Boomba, Shish Boomba, the guy's on the path to revenge. And various things are in this movie. First off, the action was quite good. The gunfights, everything. I don't know the budget of this film. It didn't seem like a super huge Tom Cruise budget, but it seemed like a decent budget, but not a huge budget. I thought they did quite well with the action and the gunfighting. From my memory, there was more gun shooting than fist fighting, and as I've said in other reviews, none of the martial arts horse shit movie fighting. It was more like a very guttural, I thought, realistic type of fighting and shooting and stuff. But my downside, of course, the good guys never get shot. And if they get shot, they get shot in the shoulder. You know, all the bad guys get shot right in the chest or the head and they die immediately. The good guys magically get shot in the shoulder, you know. But I thought all that stuff was good. There's a big explosion scene that was good. Of course, the good guy survives that. The acting was good, except here's the thing another aspect of this film that I didn't, because I felt like this movie was almost there, like almost really good, but the fault I had was that these racists, typically in a movie like this where you have some type of racist or cult or something, they at least give the main bad guy a good reason, or a reason that he thinks is good or she thinks is good, why they lead this cult, why they lead this group of bad people. They usually have some little 1-minute monologue where they explain their motives, or we find out their fucking childhood trauma, what turned them to evil. And we don't, from my memory, and I watched the whole movie, I did not take a facility break at all, I don't recall any type of moment, like a moment where we understand where this guy was coming from or why he does what he does. I don't recall that. So if that did happen, I don't remember it. And it was just kind of this, blanket racist stuff. Like just, oh, he's racist because he's racist. Or, they're white supremacists because they're in the South and they're white. I get it, but it's like, you're kind of taken for granted. Yes, this story's been told a million times. Now I'm thinking of one of my own original screenplays that has a group of racists in it. But, where is the punch to this? Where is the motivation? And I just think it's a little lazy just to say, well, everyone hates racists or everyone hates Nazis, and so here they are and hate them. Okay, but give me something more to hate them with. Like, give me some fucking shit. You know what I mean? And I think with this main bad guy, he's abusive to his children. He slaps around his sons, and he's mean to his daughter. So we get it. He's just a prick overall. And he's kind of a creep with women. Like the nurse, there's a nurse scene. But I still don't get where he's coming from. Like, how does he justify his own bullshit? And I just feel like that's where this movie, one of the key missing points is how does the bad guy justify his own bullshit? This movie did a real weak job, in my opinion, of telling me that. So then it's like, okay, I can dislike this guy on a surface level, but you're not really giving me anything to say what makes this racist prick creeper, because they're just throwing stuff like, oh, he's weird with young women, and he's a mean asshole to his children, and he hates black people, and he has a fucking Australian or an English accent. Well, which one is it? Like, why do I hate this guy beyond this surface level paint by numbers bad guy bullshit? You're not giving me anything, assholes. So I just felt like that was a big part of the story, I did feel like this actor, look at this guy, I did feel like the main, I mean, not that the bad guy did anything wrong, the actor, it's just he didn't have much to work with. But now I discovered at the end of the film, the main good guy actor and the main bad guy actor were both listed, I believe, as producers and writers or some such thing. Basically, they were in on this script, and it seems like this whole project is like a vanity thing to promote their own careers, which I think is terrific. Good for them. Like, they're trying to make themselves big names and stuff. Now, here's where it kind of took a screw in the ass for me. Also, we kind of have a babyface turn. This is another thing that made no fucking sense. The African-American sheriff is in cahoots with the redneck or the racists. The African-American sheriff is being bought and sold by the racist group, which they never, I don't remember an exchange of money or anything, but it's just kind of weird because it's like, where is that coming from? Like, what type of money or type of power or type of thing do they have over this guy for him to be such a sellout? And they don't really go into that either. It just is. Okay. And then he has like a big baby face turn, like 85% of the way through the movie is when the black sheriff realizes, oh, I shouldn't be working for the racists. I should be helping the good guy. Huh? Like, how did we get to that? You know what I mean? So it just felt very shoehorned and forced. And then another little thing that I saw coming, I mean, I saw it coming a mile away, and probably you would too if you saw this movie, which you probably won't, was the babyface turn of the daughter. I saw that coming, you know, which is fine. But I don't know. I just felt like the movie, it really excelled in the gunfire, the use of Eric Roberts. I mean, when I say the use of Eric Roberts, if you watch enough movies, you know that Eric Roberts, by his own admission, doesn't really discriminate against movies. He'll just pretty much do everything they want him for, which is fine. But I thought they used him pretty well in this movie, and he did well. And I thought the main guy, as a good guy, I could see him being in movies. Like, I'd go see this guy. But I think instead of throwing him in the American South, where I think this movie, I feel like these English people just watched a lot of CNN or a lot of, you know, television and think they know what, like, this is their kind of warped vision of the American South circa modern times. And I just felt like the nuances and the crevices of that environment were not displayed. Like, I just felt like it felt very kind of all over the place, like the 1965 courtroom drama mixed with the modern times. You know, it just felt all over the fucking place. And the racist guys were not very well developed. They were just there. And I think, no offense, but I think that's when, you know, an English group of filmmakers try to make a movie portraying the American South. Sorry, gentlemen, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I mean, you really don't. You're just kind of grabbing at things you've seen on television and YouTube and stuff. And it just felt disingenuous, as the kids say. Not the look, but the feel. Like, the environment, you know, felt fine. Like, you wouldn't look at this movie and say, oh, this feels like it was filmed in England. But it's just like the generic-y of the racism and just everything. It just felt very non-specific and vague and just kind of thrown at the fucking wall. My opinion. So there you go, folks. So overall, I sat through the whole movie. I didn't think it stunk or anything. I was entertained. But I'm picking and pointing and I'm prodding this film to its weak points. And guess what, folks? I do this so well. If you've watched other Mike's Instant Movie Reviews, whether it's on this channel, which is, I don't know where I'm putting this now, Mike Messier Stuff, parenthesis, One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan YouTube channel. That used to be subscribed to Mike Messier YouTube channel. YouTube has come down on me like I'm Jack. They've kicked off many of my channels. I no longer pay for TubeBuddy. So you're going to see videos on this channel that are outstanding, that have 3 or 4 fucking views, because I'm not in the algorithm, assholes, okay? So I'm not paying for TubeBuddy. I'm not giving a shit. I'm not tagging keywords. I'm just doing this for your enjoyment and my own, okay? So I'm just sitting here waiting for roadside service for my vehicle. I'm hot. I'm becoming annoyed with life. It's probably 90 effing fucking degrees and so forth. But I'm giving you this wonderful review and just saying, if the filmmakers happen to be watching this, I think I've given you a lot to chew on, gentlemen. I've given you so much constructive criticism about your film and its weak points, its strong points, it's this, it's that. I think I've done so much for you. You should put me in your next goddamn movie. Or better yet, let me write the script, because I do a better job writing you a nice American Southern Gothic script than the thing you just carted out for me to enjoy. So, oddly enough, I go to a lot of these movies, folks, and there's an, you know, I'm not saying this to be mean, but a lot of times I go see a movie and there's no one else in the theater. I'm in the auditorium by myself, and that's when I take the opportunity to take off my shoes, my socks, sometimes my shirt, and just relax. But in this particular auditorium, there was, like, you know, some other people in there, which was nice to see. Other people going to see a movie that they probably didn't know anyone that was in it, besides perhaps Eric Roberts. Also, funny little side note, the gentleman that plays the main guy, his name is something like Daniel Stisson. And when I saw the little blurb on my app, my phone app for this movie, I wish this truck would go away. I misread his name, and I just saw the Daniel and the S and a T thrown in there, and I thought it was Daniel Stern from, like, the voice of the Wonder Years and from Home Alone, like the non-Joe Pesci guy, the other guy. I was like, oh, in the City Slickers. He was in City Slickers. So I'm looking at this thing with Bruno Kirby, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, Daniel Stern is playing a badass. Well, it's not Daniel Stern. It's some dude, the Australian guy. So that's it, folks. I've given you a long, lengthy review. This review is almost as long as the movie. That's not true. The movie's a good hour and a 45er, I think. But, you know, I thought it was a good effort, and I did watch it. I wasn't running from the theater in disappointment. But, I mean, it's one of those things where you're kind of watching it, and as an attuned viewer, I'm picking and I'm pointing things that I would have improved on or seen, or had I been involved, I would have raised my little hand and said, fix this, fix that. So in any regard, fine folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier looking for my fucking novel here, my wonderful book. This should be made into a fucking film. Fight or Play Basketball, no offense, but the screenplay for this wonderful novel is more entertaining than 9/10 of the movie you see in the theater. Okay, look at this wonderful book that I wrote that you can buy on Amazon. It's on Audible. Wonderful novel that I wrote. Okay, uplifting material. I could just sit here all day in my hot car and read the book that I wrote 2 years ago all fucking day. So that's it, folks. MikeMessier.com. Mike's Instant Movie Review. Instagram on Mike Messier. X. World events, very exciting. Goodbye, Mike Messier.